What's up, guys? My name is Devin Reno. I am an independent pro wrestler, one half of the Pretty City Express. I don't want to talk about what it really takes to be on the independent wrestling circuit. And in order to move to that next level, it's a lot of work that I'm realizing. I obviously haven't made it, so I can't speak to everything. I'm just going to share my experience in trying to get to that next level, trying to get signed, trying to get noticed, and how much of a grind it is. So this video is going to be kind of talking about all that encompasses the grind that I've experienced or that I've noticed. Um, but I guess for aspiring wrestlers, this might help a little bit just to see what you're getting into, because there's nothing I get annoyed with more than when people show up at the tryout or the first 6 months of the wrestling school and they're like, "Wait, what do you mean I have to drive that far for that little of money? Like, what do you mean that I can't sleep? I have to go to work right after coming off the road." If you Googled how to be a wrestler, and I say this all the time to the students, from any time, at any point in your life, those things are talked about. This is all I've wanted to do since I was a kid. But when I was 10, 11, 12, I started really delving into like, how can I do this? And that's all I heard was long car rides, no pay, and you have to work really hard. So I don't understand why it's a surprise, but it is, and that's okay. Not everyone, did the research and they're kind of thrust into this. So I can't imagine what that must feel like, not knowing what it is and then getting, well, not thrown into it, but throwing yourself into it. So I just want to kind of like talk about it because it's something that I talk about a lot with the students at the school, but also I think just educating the public on what it takes to kind of get noticed and how hard you have to work. And it's not a bad thing. That's just the stage you are in your life. That's just the stage I'm at. I'm just, and if I do get to, if and when I do get to the next level, it's not getting easier. So let's talk about it. The grind of independent pro wrestling. These are the 6 things that I think encompass the grind of independent pro wrestling. Number one, long car rides, not a lot of money. If you listen to any podcast from back in the day, and now still, but mostly like when podcasts were first starting, I'm referring to The Art of Wrestling with Colt Cabana. I listened to all of it. All they did was talk about how long they had to drive and how they didn't get paid anything. It's expected. Is it fair? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. Um, is it up to the standard of like working conditions and like being paid for your time? Absolutely not. You're paying way more time, or sorry, you're investing way more time into this than you're being paid for. That's the thing. That's Ask any musician, ask any artist. They don't get paid until they've made a name for themselves. And that's why these art pieces go for millions of dollars or the um, music and contracts. I'm not too familiar with anything besides wrestling, but they get ridiculous contracts because they're getting paid for the work they put in originally, for the work that they put in to build their name, for the work that they put in on the front end for nothing. They're reaping the rewards later. And that's how I look at this. I look at this as this, I'm going to just lose and lose and lose and lose in terms of financially, but I'm going to set myself up so I make a name for myself. I'm going to make the most out of every trip. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to help out any way I can on the shows. I'm going to be reliable and also be better every time I'm there because that's how you make a name for yourself. And that's currently what I'm in the process of doing. So I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to find all the answers. But in my experience, showing up, being professional, being personable, talking. I am naturally an introvert. So I have to get in the right mindset when I go somewhere to put myself out there and introduce myself and offer help. And especially when it comes to like the creative side of wrestling, a lot of people, me included, have egos. That's kind of why we're in this. But I try to develop a reputation of I just want to help. I want to help put things together. I want to help the show be more smooth. And that takes a lot of work. And I'm not necessarily getting paid a ton for that work. So it's nothing I'm mad about. It's just this is where I am right now. And one day I won't be. One day I'm going to get paid a lot for what I do. And I'm going to work way harder when I'm there. So develop the work ethic now. And then when I get there, it's just like, well, yeah, this is what I do. I think that kind of gets lost is people think they're owed something. I'm not owed shit. I show up. I'm blessed to be able to do this. I'm blessed to even be at this stage in my career. Um, I never thought, well, I did always think, but there were a couple years where I severely doubted my future and whether I would even be on this planet. So I am not going to waste time in pursuing this one thing I've loved throughout my whole life. So, yeah, long car rides, a lot of time, no sleep, no money, and maximum effort. That's expected at this stage. So, if you have an issue with that, maybe rethink what you're getting into. Number two, working to support this dream and this journey. I'm sorry to say this, it takes money and you have to work. I used to think, okay, maybe I hide what I do for a living because I don't want to come off as like not a star. And this is going to sound rude and I don't mean it to be, but I understand that to an extent. If you are portraying a character and you are portraying this larger than life or even like an evil whatever as everyone does on the indies, if you're portraying someone that's bigger than normal life, don't let people into your normal life. Don't let them know. And I'm gonna pick on this because I used to do it and I take pride in it and I don't have it's not like a bad thing. However you make your money, you make your money. And I think that's great and it's a beautiful thing. I used to be a team member, a team leader, and a manager at a movie theater chain, Harkins Theaters. If I was portraying Devin Reno, the wrestler, and I was a manager at a movie theater where people could just walk in and see me, I would want to keep those things separate because I don't want to let people into something where they can go, oh, you're not that special. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying what they would perceive it as. And especially in the service industry where people get looked down upon enough, that's actually one of the reasons I was fired. Um, I I had a lot of attitude problems because I didn't like being talked down to. And in that industry, you're setting yourself up for failure if you let those people in. If you let people into that side of you, make your money, work really hard. That's awesome. However, you need to do that, do it as long as you're not hurting anybody, right? But also, you need to understand that people have a certain that they look down on those people, and it sucks, and I hate it, and I experienced it. That's not conducive to me presenting this larger than life wrestler. So I would keep that. That being said, you do have to work. This is a lot of time and money being invested in something that might pay off in the future. So I do work full time. I was actually a personal trainer before I switched jobs. I wasn't making anything. And you can ask anyone who knew me as a trainer. I was smart. I knew what I was doing, but I lacked confidence. I couldn't sell anything. I couldn't like tell my clients, hey, I just need you to do this. And I couldn't hold them to um, the standards that I needed them and they needed to succeed. I lacked a ton of confidence. So I wasn't good. I wasn't a good trainer. I knew things, I knew how to help. I was easy to talk to. But when it came to actually putting my foot down on certain things, which you need to do as a trainer, that's a skill, you need that confidence. And I didn't have it. I probably do way better now because I've worked on it over the past couple years, but I didn't have it. So I sucked. I wasn't making anything. I was a personal trainer and I was a youth ninja warrior coach at a gym, a gymnastics gym. I loved both jobs. I was happy to perform and work for those companies and to do those jobs, and I was proud of what I did. That being said, I can't support this where I want to go in wrestling by doing that. I can't support the travel. I can't support the getting good gear. I just can't. And I was actually paired up with my tag team partner now, Class, who is a psychologist. That's who I'm being held to. And I'll be damned. He doesn't have to, and I mean this in the best way possible. He set himself up so that money isn't necessarily the thing holding him back. So as his tag team partner, I can't all have my money situation be the thing that sets him back because we need to get booked together. I need to be getting gear with him. I need to be investing, maybe not dollar for dollar the same, but I need to be investing just as much. And I do that. And because I switched fields, I actually got a job at a surgery center, an outpatient surgery center. They specialize in plastics. And I started as SPD, which is sterile processing, if you guys, which you probably wouldn't be familiar, but sterile processing. I cleaned the instruments that were used during surgery. I sterilized them. I organized like trays by what we needed for specific cases. And from there, I learned how to scrub and I learned how to be a surgical tech, which is I'm the doctor's third and fourth hands. I'm the surgeon's third and fourth hands. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm in the surgeries. I'm helping out. I still clean and sterilize because it's a small surgery center. It's all hands on deck. I still do all of those things. And also, I'm in on cases. I'm helping the doctor. I'm communicating with nurses. And I'm just helping the entire procedure go smoothly. The surgeon, when they go in there, laser focused. They're just ready to go. I have to be the one who communicates what they want to the outside, the nurses and the anesthesiologist sometimes, just to keep everyone on the same page and ensure a smooth surgery. I worked really hard and I continue to work really hard there because I take a lot of pride in what I do. I have a wonderful team. They are so cool. They're so understanding of wrestling. They are like just I could not I've worked in toxic work environments. This is the furthest thing from it. I am beyond blessed, and I actually got in, um, and I realize how lucky I am. So I'm not just saying that, oh, I worked really hard and ended up here. No, I got extremely lucky. My mom has done consulting work for them, and she was like, look, I can probably get your foot in the door for an interview, but you better not, not disparage my name, but like I'm putting my name on you. You need to work hard. And I take a lot of pride in that. Like I was given this opportunity for an interview on a silver platter, and I didn't want any ifs, ands, or buts. I was clear that wrestling was my priority, that I would have to take time off to do shows. I started with that expectation. I said, when I'm here, I will work 110%. And also, I'm here to support wrestling. And they were like, do you have any experience? I go, no. They go, okay, do you have a passion for this industry? And I go, not really. I don't know anything about it, so I can't be passionate that I know about it. And they go, well, are you coachable? I went, hell yeah, I'm coachable. I'll do whatever you want. And just with that mentality of, I will do whatever is needed for the team, along with a connection, got me the job and has just expedited my progress. And they've invested so much in me, which I'm so thankful for. But it's up to me to uphold my end of the bargain. I have to work hard. I have to deliver to their standards. They're not like, in my opinion, they are top tier plastic surgeons. I have to deliver top tier service to them, my team, and the patients. And I feel like I do a good job. I'm still learning. I'm still new to this. I'm 2 years in. I did a year of SPD and a year of surgical tech, and I'm learning how to suture now, how to sew incisions shut, so that way I can get a pay bump and maybe even go part time so I can focus on wrestling a little bit more. I am beyond blessed to be in the position that I'm in. I realize that, and I work really hard to be able to support wrestling outside of, oh, I can't make the show, or oh, I need fans to buy merch, or oh, like, don't, you decided to get into this. I decided to be a wrestler. It is nobody else's responsibility for me to be able to fund and work and deliver everything that I need to in wrestling besides my own. I decided to do this. It's a voluntary issue. So I had to take the steps necessary to get a job and work really hard at it and deliver there so that I could deliver outside of there and in wrestling. Number three, merch is cool, it's super awesome, and also it's not an obligation. Merch is an extra, not an obligation. And what I mean by that isn't necessarily from a wrestler standpoint. I think you should have merch. I think it's really important to be at the merch table. I think it's really important to be making connections with fans. Even if you're not selling and making money, you're making a connection, which awesome. I can't tell you how many connections I've made at the merch table before a show where they didn't know who the F I was. And then when I'm on the show, I'm making eye contact and I'm digging into their what we talked about, or I'm referencing something, and they're like, "Oh, I hate you," or "Oh, I love you," whatever I am, heel or baby that day, probably a heel. But that being said, none of these fans are obligated to buy anything from you. They're not. So I don't understand why some people believe that the fans need to buy your merch so that you can make the next show, so that you can put food on your table, so that you can have extra money to buy extra gear. That's not their responsibility. Merch is there for fans to support someone that they believe in and to rep something that they like. That's it. If you are not, or they don't deem you worthy enough to invest, that's fine. That's okay. It should be. It is not their job to support your lifestyle. You got into this to wrestle. Do you sacrifice a lot for it? Absolutely. Do you deserve to get paid for it? Absolutely. Is it their job to pay you? No. They're there to enjoy a show. You have to deliver. And if they decide, hey, I want to support you, or hey, I want to buy this, hey, I really like this sticker, I really like this shirt, great, you made extra money. But stop with the, hey, if you don't do this, I can't put food on my table. Nobody wants to go to a show and hear that. It's crazy. Figure out your life outside of wrestling. Make the hard decisions outside of wrestling so that when you go to a wrestling show and you're expected to be a star, you can act like one. If somebody comes up to me in class at the merch table and they want to talk shit, hey, I hate you guys, blah, 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 or like, I love to hate you guys, or you guys are entertaining. We go, awesome, you want to buy anything? No, I just want to tell you, fuck you. It's like, okay, cool. Like that's all it is. I'm very passionate about the idea, and it really frustrates me when I hear fans getting like guilted into buying things. They shouldn't. We've had people pay us just to talk to us. They just came up, hey, I really appreciate your work. I really appreciate you guys. Here's X amount of money just for saying, like, just to say thank you. And we're trying to give them stuff. Do you want like an 8x10? No, no, I just want to say thank you. And they leave. That isn't because we bullied them into it. It's because they wanted to support people that they see working really hard and people who gave them maybe extra on a show that they weren't expecting. Maybe they saw how hard we work and they're like, damn, these guys really take it seriously. I want to pay them. I want to support them. I want to do this. It's not an expectation. So stop believing it is. Pimp your merch, go out there, sell whatever you can, but stop with the guilt and the burying and the, oh, if I can't sell these things, just stop. Stop. It's not an obligation. Okay? Figure out your life outside of wrestling and support yourself because you made the decision to do it. And if you're, I know some wrestlers who have more t-shirts than matches. If that's you, that's cool. I love that you're a grinder and you love designing stuff and you love putting merch out there. And also realize there's a lot more to it than that. Number 4, rest is a luxury. Let's, what I want to do is I want to outline a week, a typical week of my life for you. And I'll probably do a day in the life and I'll probably do weekly vlogs with this channel, but rest is a luxury. Monday, all right? Well, this is every weekday typically, but there's some variants, and I'll explain that. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm working, I'm in the gym, and I'm training wrestling at the school. I'm either a student on the advanced day, Monday, or I help coaching on the other two. I'm not a trainer. I help coach, or I'll lead a class. I'm not a trainer. I have nowhere near the time and just longevity in wrestling to be considered a trainer. So I'm not saying that. Please, I have too much respect for but I do coach classes, or I'll lead classes, or I'll help coach and help train. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I wake up at 5. I'm either at work at 6 or I'm at work at 8 and I go to the gym before work. So wake up at 5. Let's just typically I'm the first one at work. So wake up at 5, I eat, I go to work. I'm there around 6, between 6 and 6:30. I work probably until 2, 3, sometimes 4. If it's really late day, 5, 6. Um, then from there, I go to the gym. I'm at the gym for about 90 minutes. It takes me about an hour to get from Scottsdale to Mesa, where the wrestling school is and where the gym is. So I get there, I work out for about 90 minutes. So let's say I get off work at, recently it's been 4. It takes me 45 minutes with traffic at that time, 45 to 50. So now it's 4:45, 4:50. I then have to work an hour and a half typically is how long my workouts take. That takes me to about 6:15, 6:30. Class starts at 6:15. I'm blessed to have put in a lot of time at the school to where I have a little bit of flexibility. Before, I would have to go straight from work to the school because I'm putting in and getting credibility. Now, since I help lead and that, I can get there around 6:30. It's forgiven because they know I'm working hard outside of it. I get I work out. I get there 6:30, 6:45. I train there. I help lead there from whenever I get there to whenever I leave, which could be 9 o'clock. Sometimes it's 10. 10. I go ahead. I go home. I eat my last meal. I shower. I prep everything for the next morning because I got to be up at 5 again. That's I get home. By the time I'm in bed, it's 11:30 midnight. So if I can fall asleep right away, I get 5 hours of sleep, 5.5. And then I wake up and I do it all over again. My day starts at 5, it ends at 11 p.m., and I am nonstop working the entire time. Again, I signed up for that. I'm not asking anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm asking you to realize, oh, wow, there's a lot that goes into this. If that's not for you, that's fine. But I want to get to the next level. That's what I have to do. I signed up for it. That's what we're going to do. Wednesdays, I wake up, same thing, 5. I'll go to work or I'll go to the gym. And then afterwards, Wednesdays are my day for my relationship, my girlfriend Meredith. We just spend time together because that's the one consistent day where we can make sure we have quality time together. And it's awesome. It's great. I have a responsibility, much like I chose to be a wrestler. I also chose to be in a relationship. A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, but I'm in a relationship, but like this takes priority. Sure, it takes priority because it's your life and it's your journey. And also, you can't rope someone into that life and journey and then go, sorry, you're second. You have to make time for them. It's your responsibility. Nobody forced you into a relationship. I hope if they did, I'm very sorry for your situation. And there are support systems out there to get you out of there. But if you get into a relationship voluntarily, it's not like they're gonna have to make sacrifices. Meredith makes a lot of sacrifices for me to be able to, specifically time with me, to be able to go pursue what I want and what I need. And also, it's my job to make sure that I'm delivering as a significant other, as a partner. And Wednesdays is a time I'm able to do that. No, it's not always perfect, but hey, that is what life is. And if you are going to get into a relationship, you need to understand it's not their responsibility to just cater to everything you want. You also have to take the time to put in effort there as much as you do in wrestling. If you want to be everything, you have to try at everything. So that's Wednesdays. Friday, recently, almost every weekend, in almost every Friday in January, we've had a show. So I'll show up to work at 6. My work is awesome about letting me, wrestle, but I also want to give in time when I can. So I think a couple weeks ago we had a flight to Albuquerque, and then the next day we were in Denver. I had to work Friday morning, and I said, "Hey, I have a flight at 1. I can work up until noon." Oh no, sorry. If it's 1, I would have worked till 11. So I get there at 6. I work until 11. I go pick up class because he lives right by my work. We go to the airport. We're on the plane at 1:30. We land, we wrestle, we do all that. We get to the hotel probably around midnight that night. We have to be up at 4 for the flight to Denver. So I don't get any sleep because I'm wired from the show. We go get a meal. By the time we get in bed, it's like 1, 2 by the time I'm in bed, and we have to be up at 4 so that we can drop off the car at 4:30, take the shuttle, be there at 5, catch the 6 o'clock flight. From there, we land Saturday 6. We land at 8:30, and then we get a rental car. We go to the gym. Call time is noon. We're at the show at noon. We're there until 9:10. We go. We had to go get food, and then we went to the hotel. In bed probably around midnight. Up at 4 again. First flight back home. There's not a lot of sleep there. I had more matches than hours of sleep. Actually, that happens a couple weekends. Rest is a luxury. There are no weekends because if you're working full time, your weekends are where you work your other job full time, and that's okay. That's the stage I'm at. And guess what? If I want to get to where I want to, it's probably going to be more chaotic. And I can't just go, man, this sucks. Like Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion. Do you think he has a lot of rest? Do you think he has a lot of time on his hands? No. He's at the top of the industry. There's no time. So develop the work ethic now. So when you get there, you step right in. You go, no, I'm ready for this. And you're able to actually be confident when you say that. Number 5, going to the gym. As I just alluded to, off 0 hours of sleep and off of 2 flights in 2 days, the first thing me and class did after getting our car was actually buy snow gear because it was 10 degrees in Denver. But after that, we went to the gym. You are expected, and not everybody has to look like a bodybuilder. I don't look like a bodybuilder. I don't. But I'm expected to deliver and be an athlete. I need to keep people safe. I need to be able to push my limits when we get into longer matches, when we get to the end of a match. And I need to be able to be safe throughout the entire match. Going to the gym is an absolute must. We're not even going to talk about the aesthetic part, or because I don't like the, you know, there's a lot of touchy subjects with that. Personally, I think that wrestlers should look like athletes, but if you look at athletes, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Most importantly, wrestlers should be athletes. You should be in shape. Even if you're a goofy comedy, that's awesome. That's needed in wrestling. That is certainly. Oh, I couldn't do it. It's way more difficult in some areas, and also you still need to perform and you still need to keep people safe. Going to the gym is an absolute must. Number 6, final one. This journey, you will have to sacrifice standard life moments and milestones. I've missed out on a lot of time with family, and I've missed out on things that I could have been working towards, but instead I'm putting my eggs in this basket. And it sucks, but it's also the decision I made. There's this mentality of, oh, it's lonely at the top. Oh, everybody left me. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets my drive and my passion for success. No, they get it, but you're not there. You're not delivering as a friend either. I've lost friends and it's not their fault. I will own that 100%. I know they're supporting me. I know they're out there, and that maybe they thought, hey, he's changed. I can't control what they think. I can only hope they understand. And I know that all of my friends understand, even the ones that I necessarily don't talk to. Like I just outlined a week, it is extremely hard to maintain friendships that aren't in wrestling. It's not that they left you. It's not that they got jealous of you. It's not that, oh, no, none of them understand. It's that you weren't also delivering as a friend. Nobody wants to keep reaching out to the person who can't show up. Nobody wants to keep reaching out to the person who doesn't respond to text. I get it. I did that. And I didn't mean to. I meant no ill will by it. Life got in the way. I got super busy. I'm so zeroed in on this one goal that I lost friends due to my inability to communicate. And I don't blame them. I want the best for them. I love them still. I know that we're both supporting each other from the sidelines, but it's not their fault. I'm not a victim. I hate that mentality. Oh, look at all these sacrifices. Yes, I've made sacrifices. That doesn't make me a victim. It means I'm putting in effort towards something and I'm losing other things. That's how this works. That's balance. That's how the universe is balanced. It's not their fault that I'm chasing this thing. It's my responsibility. It's not their fault that I didn't reach back out. It's not their fault that they stopped reaching out. It's my inability to focus on all of these things at once. And this sounds shitty. I prioritize this goal because that's what I'm zeroed in on. And I feel horrible for it. And I know I've lost friends. And I don't mean like, oh, that's it, but like that's balance. It's not their fault. And I'm so sorry if you feel like I wronged you or you feel like I changed because I didn't reach back out. I will 100% own that I didn't, but it's not because I don't love you and it's not because I don't like you. It's because I'm so zeroed in on this. And I'll probably reach out after this talk to some of you just to touch base. Like, this mindset that these people left you on your journey to the top is not always true. You just want to be a victim. A lot of the time, they kept reaching out, but you either don't remember or you never reached back because you were busy. That's not their fault. And it is yours, but it's not a bad thing. It just means you are focused on something else. So, yes, it's lonely at the top, but not because people hate you. It's because maybe you got a little too zeroed in. And again, that's okay. That's what's needed to accomplish big things. But stop making yourself to be the victim. Along with that, I'm surrounded by an amazing team at my work. We have two nurses right now who are pregnant, and it's super cool. One of them is actually about to have a baby. We have another nurse who just got married. We have another nurse who just bought her first house. And all of those things are things that I wish I could do. And they're things that I long for. I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband. I really do. Like, um, ever since I was a kid, I've only wanted to be a wrestler and be a dad and a husband. That's it. Because I'm so zeroed in on this, it's really hard to accomplish those things because I'm putting all my eggs in this basket in the hopes that it'll pay its dividends and then I can do all of these things to the highest level possible. I could be a dad who can give everything, time, effort, money. I could be a husband who can give everything, love, passion. I can support not just a lifestyle, but set up the family for success. Um, I I could buy a beautiful house. I can have all these things. I can create a world that I want to live in and have a family in. But right now, it sucks because these these women at work have killed it. They did so great. They're all doing awesome. They're all accomplishing life goals, and it makes me really happy to see. I'm not jealous one bit. Do I want all of those things? Absolutely, but that doesn't mean I'm jealous. It means like, okay, I have to work harder so I can get there. I have to work harder on this goal so that I can use it to get to these ones. That's not a negative thing. And for all these people who are like, man, I wish I can do that, or must be nice, fuck you, dude. Must be nice. They prioritize that, so they get it first. That's how life is. And if you're a wrestler, you're going to have to prioritize wrestling over other life milestones. Is it fair? Yes, because you chose to wrestle. You chose to be in this. And if you're halfway in and halfway out, you're not going to get either, in my opinion. I'm fully into making this wrestling thing work. And then after that, I can be fully into being a family man and all the above. And guess what? Maybe that's not how it works. Maybe I'll learn in 5, 10, however many years, that I was wrong at this moment, and I will own that. But right now, that's my perspective. And I'm sure there's people who are older than me going, oh, this kid, I get that. And I'm sure you're right. I'm sure one day I'll be thinking, man, they were right. Because I say that a lot. But right now, this is how I think. And that it's a beautiful thing when people experience those life milestones. But if you start seeing outside the world of wrestling and you start feeling jealous of that, maybe you weren't built for wrestling. Maybe you need to go do those things. I know I was built for wrestling. I know that I was made for this. So I just have to be patient with everything else because I'm going to make everything I can to make a name for myself and set up my future through wrestling. And I believe I can, and I believe I will. And also, I hope everyone around me experiences all of the beauties in life. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Life is hard enough. Why would I hate people for accomplishing something before me? That's beautiful. That's awesome. I have my own journey. I'm very happy with it now. I didn't used to be. I wasn't always so accepting, but this thing is crazy, man. I love seeing everyone I work with accomplish these, or not even just accomplish, just experience the beauties of life. And yes, I want those one day too. And also, I know I'll get them. I'm just focused on this. And I'm setting myself up for a life where it makes sense for me and I can build my own world. They've already done that. They've done that on the front end. Wrestling's a little more tricky. It's a little harder. Um, and I don't mean like I work harder than them. I mean it's harder to predict when things are going to happen. So I just have to be ready. And you can't lead, or sorry, you can't let negative emotion take a hold of you if you are in this journey, because you're going to miss out on a lot. And it's not your fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's not anyone's fault. That's just how it is. So, to sum it up, the grind of independent pro wrestling. Long car rides, no money. If that's a shock to you, do more research. 2, you have to work to support your dream. You chose to get in on this. It's nobody else's responsibility to provide this for you except yours. Fans are not obligated to pay for your bills. 4, rest is a luxury. You're probably not able to be lazy and you're probably going to work really hard. Sorry. 5, you have to go to the gym. 6, you will sacrifice standard life milestones or at least delay them. You have to be okay with that, and you absolutely can't be jealous of anyone else who is accomplishing those things, even though you're not. This is your journey. This is the grind, and this is what it takes. As far as I'm concerned, so far, my 6 points, I might add to them, I might take away later on. That's the beauty of life. It's fluid, it changes. There's probably people out there who are going, oh, he doesn't know this yet. I don't know that yet because I'm still learning. This isn't fact. This is just my perspective and my experience. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. Just, I love this.